Buonasera a tutti, sono molto felice di essere a Pavuro stasera. Grazie a tutti per l'incredibile cerimonia di apertura di ieri. Hi everyone, welcome to the first race of the second FAI Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix in Pavolo. I am Antoine Ave, the competition director of this virtual competition, and I'm very happy to be here today with all of you and with the 20 pilots will compete to the.
That's a drawback. So with that, I'd like to declare the second virtual Sailplane Grand Prix final for open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you for your words for the pilots and to the team as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I would like to wish you a very good evening. Thank you for joining. And we're going to go straight to the race for the first race of this second edition of the Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix. Thank you.
Yes, so 61 degrees Celsius ground level, so it's approximately the same temperature that they had in Pavolo today. But the weather is much better because we have a cloud base at 2,700 meters from the sea level. So speaking about ground level in Pavolo, it's about 2,000 meters ground level. So Pavolo is 700 meters from the sea level. The wind is not so much strong, 12 kilometers from the southwest. And we have 1 to 8 cumulus clouds.
1H, yeah.
1H cumulus clouds. And the thermal today should have a vertical speed about 2 to 3 meters per second, and the wave should be weak, not sufficient to fly with it.
And now Arne Martin is focusing on the start because the start is expected to be in about 2 minutes from now.
Yeah, I can give exactly the time. It's 2 minutes and 22 seconds right now.
That's perfect. Thank you, Jean-David. So they are going to be all ready for this. The start is a bit special here in Sailplane Grand Prix. It's kind of Formula One style or sailing style. It's a regatta start and they all start at the same time. So there is a maximum speed of 170 kilometers per hour so that they can manage all the other gliders around them, and there is no crash, no mid-air collision, and so on. They need to be very careful. As you can see, they are already getting started now.
So that's why there is only 20 pilots qualified tonight. So we are 1 minute and 15 seconds from the start.
Great. So the pilots are getting ready for the start. You should be ready too, from home or from the Pavolo, from the main place in Pavolo, because you should be watching the race tonight, all of you, from the bars and restaurants in Pavolo. And we're going to have a race start in just a few seconds from now.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Race is on. Okay, so now every pilot has crossed the start line. You can see that the first time of the race is very important to place themselves very well at the good speed and not, as you said, not too early, not too late. And now they are going straight to turn point 1 without any cumulus ahead. I can't see very well.
There is just 2, but quite far away.
Yeah.
Maybe just after the first hill that we see, there will be one in about 15 kilometers. Yeah, with this view, we can see that. That's Darius Gudjunas from Lithuania. He qualified by winning one of the qualifiers with a really, really good. It was in Australia. Really good show in Australia from Darius. He's a top contender for this final event. And he's pushing at more than 200 kilometers per hour now.
Yeah. And do you know, Antoine, if technically there is one of the glider in Condor that is better in terms of performance than the other?
No, they are more or less all equal at 48 kilo. That's a very good view. Thank you, Timothée, for this view. So you can see all of them just next to each other, and actually they are all quite good. There are only minor differences in either the climb rate that they can achieve at that wing loading or the glide that they can do, but it's more or less all the same gliders Some are more stable than others, some climb better than others, and so on. So it's quite. They're stopping. Maybe we can go see the pack and maybe have a look from the inside if Arne Martin is there in that pack. Live with
From this
Arne
point of view, yeah.
from the cockpit, the first thermal of the day.
Busy thermal, isn't it?
Very, very busy. So Arne is flying with virtual reality goggles, virtual reality headset, and it's pretty good, pretty good to have good safety, to fly very well in virtual gliding. That's a must for those top pilots to have this equipment.
Thingy.
Look how close they are now. They are 5, just in a few meters, and it's
Yes.
effectively the Polish guys. That's the 5 pilots from Poland now. They're all flying together as a group. The Polish guys, Polish gang, if we may call it like this, may call them like this. Yeah, it's crazy, and you can see Vic Schoenemakers from the Netherlands just behind them on the left of the screen. He's just next to them. That's good, and they are gonna all get into the same thermal. Who is leading? That's Ben Fest on top of the thermal, leading the race. Ben Fest from Germany with Mialik Nose, and then it's Witold Rozak from Poland. That's Darius with joining TKM. So Tim Madsen didn't join the pack. He continued by himself and is climbing almost at the top of the ceiling that we have today.
And there are almost 60 kilometers flown right now, so maybe 2/3 of the first leg from these 220 kilometers at total. I've seen in a few seconds back.
It's very interesting because what we see is a main pack and going straight to turn point 1, and sometimes 1, 2, or 3 pilots are getting away from the pack, trying something else, try if they can get an advantage, and if they fail, they just come back into the pack and they will try later. And it's very funny because you can see some pilots there, and then 20 minutes later, it's other pilots trying again, and so on. Everyone, I think, is trying to get the lead, but so far, no real success.
As he have 2 pilots in front of him, we can see if the right pilot or the left pilot is climbing, so he can choose his path with this information, and this information, the first pilot doesn't have it. So it is very interesting. You are not the first, but you have more information, so you can try to catch up the first pilots. And right now they are turning turn point 1, so 94 kilometers flown. Has turned the turn point 1 right now?
Yes. He has, and he's doing something else. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because they went really far away from the direction of turn point 2. I don't know what they are doing now. They are aiming for a cumulus maybe, but that's quite far away. That's more than 50 degrees off track. So they really need to have a very good thermal so that pays off. That does pay off. So that's not good. I think that's not good. Ben, in my opinion, is doing the right choice here. Followed by KMI and Zbisech from they've flown 110 kilometers, so it's almost mid-race now. With, as we said, 2 different goggles. Arthur Duke from Poland is the first one to turn the turn point 2, but he's a bit too low. He will need to get a thermal. Just behind him, we have Vic Schoenemakers. So that's the group from Witold who joined Stewart Henschel, Kuba, Arne Martin, Wojciech. So we should have as well Ben and Norbert Kiss. Charlie November is back. He's back in the race now. He was a little bit behind, but I can see Norbert right here with them. KMI is below, so I guess that Ben has to be below as well. He has to be a bit behind Ben Fest. He took something else. That's what I said.
Okay.
There was the plan to take something else earlier. It's with David Redman. Indeed, they were both in a very good position. So Dave is Vic Schoenemakers here with Benfest and Dave Redman.
Third
Trying
position.
fast. Yeah.
Okay, David Redman and Benfest hasn't stopped since turn point 2. They are flying fast and straight to turn point 3. A great cumulus cloud just in front of them, and they are ahead of a ridge. I don't know if it will give some lift, but it is the shortest way to turn point 3.
That is something. But maybe there was just no cumulus to go to turn point 3, probably.
Right.
And he was like, okay, I need to secure more or less the top 5 or top 8. So I'm going to climb there. I know there is something. I don't care of the off track. I go for it. And maybe the guys who are just turning now the turn point 3, they will not get anything afterwards. So he's taking less risk because he's seen a good cumulus and a good thermal. Maybe with the off track, but he's not taking any risk because he's trying to anticipate what's going to be after this turn point 3. Maybe it's not as good as those guys may think. Vic Schoenemakers, with his great skin and livery from the Netherlands here, is turning turn point 3 now.
Very interesting view here, Tim, because we can see that around turn point 3 there is absolutely no cumulus. So they know that turning turn point 3 will get them lost of altitude. So they need to manage how much altitude they will lost, and if they can reach another lift before
See Kuba getting a very good lift. Maybe we can go back after that turn point to the leading pack, because I see maybe Ben and Kuba joining them. And they need to be, yeah, you see they are lower.
Okay.
Vic has made a really good, but Vic is behind, sorry. No, my bag. No, Vic is in front. Vic is in front. All those guys are in front. That's correct. Just above Pavulo, the airfield. Maybe you can zoom in on that's the city of Pavulo that you see behind. That's really great. The runway with access to 0 and 02 of Pavulo. Back in the race, probably the last thermal of the day. Just above the airfield of Pavulo, you can see the finish line just behind them. Then we need to cross that in about 15 minutes from now. Yeah, who's going to win this? I have no idea. There are 10, 12 pilots that are very, very well placed now to get to the final glide, and it's going to be interesting because they need to be at 850 meters, and I know that they're going to take some risk for the arrival to today. So because you just need to be the first or to be among the first to get the points. So it's going to be very critical for those 12 guys that are just ready to get the points today. We have Kuba, Vic, they are above, they're coming. They are coming now, and Vic is going for it. He goes for it. He does continue. He's not stopping. David Rayman is doing the same. I think they have enough altitude. Those guys, they have enough. Kuba is taking it, and he's going to try to do maybe 1 or 2 or 3 more turns to get more altitude before pushing, so he can try to get there. Benfest is going straight to it. Tim Madsen is going for it as well. Stewart Henschel a little bit behind. He needs to climb in that one, maybe. Most probably. He needs to be careful there. Yeah, well done. Okay. So Vic, Tim Madsen, and Benfest with David Redman leading now the race. Let's go. We have Benfest here, and to the left we have Vic. Tim Madsen is very, very well placed. He's above all of them. David Redman just behind. 1,400 meters now for Tim Madsen, turn point 4, and then he needs to go to fast. Yeah, very well done.
Final turn point.
Final turn point is going for it. And then it's the reporting point. David Redman. So that's Vic, David Redman, Benfest.
Yeah, here we are.
Kuba is quite high as well. He can push.
The other pilots behind left the lift, so they are on for the final glide. Vito, Darnay Martin.
That's the final glide. That's the final glide, guys. They are all going for it. 200 kilometers per hour. Kuba Kuba is going for the 5th place so far. He can probably get to 4th. Because Ben is a little bit behind. Maybe he will be able to get the podium. He does push to 225 kph, trying to get to David Redman. Maybe you can have Tim Madsen view going for the turn point now. He's almost at the reporting point. He's going for it. Reporting point for Tim Madsen is only a few kilometers away now.
Yeah. 200 kilometers again.
5 kilometers away for Tim. He needs to be at 850. Vic Schoenemaker second on the reporting point. And they're going to fly just above the city of Pavulo now. David Redman just next to Vic Schoenemaker's. Tim Madsen is probably going for the win. What a race he's done. Honestly, what a race he's done, because he was a little bit behind. And I think they've made a tremendous work here with GKK, Yarmo, and the guys who were just a little bit behind after turn point 1 and turn point 2. They did a very good job to come back in the race. Really good job. It's never done until the end of the race in Sailplane Grand Prix. Okay, they need to be above 850 when crossing the finish line. It's going to be good for Tim Madsen. He can push a little bit more to secure the place. Maybe. Very well done, Tim. Very well done. 900 meters is going to go straight to 850. That's very good. Congratulations, Tim Madsen.
Tim Madsen, yeah.
Winner of the day. Winner of the day. Well done, Tim. Well done. Amazing job. Amazing job. Who's behind? Tim was behind. Just behind him, we should have Vic. I suppose. Yes, Vic second. And who is again behind?
And David Redman, third place.
We can have a view on the number 6 maybe. Kuba pulling to 850. We have Benfest joining here with Bisech behind. Very well done. I just need to have a look. Okay,
well done to all these pilots.
Very good job. What a race. What a race. Honestly, great arrival.
It was very intense. So Tim Madsen, first place for tonight race, 1 hour and 42 minutes, 47 seconds. Just so he's the race winner tonight. Congratulations, team. Just 40 seconds after him on the second place, we have Vic Schoenemaker, and after him, just 8 seconds after, we have David Redman on the podium, third place. Congratulations to these 3 pilots on the podium. It was very intense, just a few seconds difference at the end of this race. Wow, it was very intense. Thank you for inviting me, Antoine, and thank you for every viewers who interact with us through the chat. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for other days. I won't be there to comment tomorrow, but surely I will follow the race and each race until the end of this virtual Grand Prix. It's amazing to watch, and great flight to all the real pilots, to all the virtual pilots, and let's see what happens in the next races.
Jean-David, thank you, Timothée. Thank you, Marc, Michel, Sébastien, and everyone who worked in the background to make the races happen, and all the SGP team and the team in Pavulo who are doing a great job, the Italian guys. So thank you all, and we see you tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye.